Muskegon channel. It's Andy O'Reilly, and today I am down at Muskegon Monument and Stone. Brooks Wheeler is my guest, and Brooks got a hold of me after he saw the story we did on City of the Dead, and he was like, "Hey, see that monument right behind your head? I did that." And I thought to myself, why not stop in and learn a little bit more about one of Muskegon's oldest businesses, and one that's not going out of time and going out of business anytime soon, I'm gathering, because nobody's dying. We're not figuring out how to get out of, we're all dying sometime.
Yep. Can't get out of that.
We're not getting out of that one.
Death and taxes is what I was told.
Thanks for having me down. And first of all, tell me a little bit about the history of this business.
Well, obviously it's been one of the oldest businesses here in Muskegon. It was started in 1901.
Wow.
And still going in 2018. So a lot of stones have gone through this place.
How long have you been the proprietor here?
I have been doing this for 35 years. I've owned the business for the last 10 years.
Yeah.
But I've been doing the work for 35 years.
What goes into becoming a stone carver?
Got married into it because the former owner married my mother, and then I started working here and learned everything here.
And that's all it took. So it's like an apprenticeship and it's nothing you can just go get book taught.
I don't think so, no. You got to have a little bit of artsy stuff, and got to be able to have a little bit of skills with your hands, I guess.
And it's an amazing facility. We're going to take people on a little tour, like we've been known to do with some of our area businesses here. But from a business standpoint, you kind of meet people when they are at a pretty tough time. You know what I mean? They've just lost a loved one. Maybe it's a mom or a dad or a grandmother, or maybe it's a child or something like that. Talk about how business meets that kind of personal level when it comes to somebody that does the work you kind of do.
Well, sometimes it's tough when somebody comes in and they just lost a child. Before you got here this morning, I sold a stone for a couple that lost their infant, stillborn. And they actually were at another monument company, went in there, and they never called them back, and they called me, and they came in and bought a stone for me today.
Yeah.
So it's not always, though, where I'm dealing with somebody that lost somebody. My favorite time is that I do a lot of pre-need stones where husband and wife come in and they're buying their stone ahead of time, like how I'm doing mine.
Yeah, you got your own.
And then it's fun talking to them, because like the old boy, he'll be going, "I don't care what it looks like. I'm not gonna see it." And then I look at him, I go, "Yeah, you are. You're still here."
So it's not always gloom and doom when people come in to see you, but other times too, you've got some pretty high emotions that you got to deal with. And
yeah, sometimes it's hard, but
yeah,
most of the time not, because sometimes people are crying. I did a stone for this girl where her grandmother just died, and her grandfather had died a long time before that, and she couldn't figure out why she was having to buy a stone for her grandmother and her grandfather. She was wondering why her grandma didn't do it, and I said, "I don't know. I can't answer that question."
It's
so,
a tough one. I mean, these are things that some people just can't really deal with.
Well, I did a stone for this one guy. He came in and he bought a stone for him and his wife, and they went to St. Mary's Cemetery, and then like 4 years later he comes back and he's got another girl with him.
Oh boy.
And he comes in and he goes, "We got to do another stone." And I go, "What do you mean?" He goes, "Yeah, this is my new wife and she wants to be buried with us too."
Yeah.
And so I did the stone for him, and he put him in the middle, first wife, second wife, and then underneath it he put a thorn between two roses.
My grandfather had two wives, and that's the way it's done with him. He's got one on each side of where he's buried.
So tough stuff, but he made the best of it.
Yeah, that's what you can do.
1901.
How many? I mean, you may know, you may not know. Take a guess. How many stones that have gone through this business?
Wow, I can't even tell you that. I did count how many stones I did like 4 years ago. Just how many stones that I have done.
Yep.
And it was over 12,000.
No kidding.
And every day, as you saw, I'm adding to my totals.
Yeah.
So you saw them books. I've never counted all those. Genealogy guy came in last year, and he went through all those books and took pictures of them. So he probably would know more than me, because he did every one of them.
Right.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of history in this building.
There's a lot of history in
A lot of
this
history.
building, yeah.
Talk about the future. I mean, as we took our tour through here, I didn't necessarily see any kids any trainees, any young apprentices in there trying to learn what you do. And you still do all this by hand?
I do. So that is a good question. Need to probably get somebody going on that, because my daughter, she kind of thought she might like it, but then she said, "Dad, it's too dusty in there." She's a singer, as you know.
Yeah. So I mean, is that something you'd be looking for as an apprentice somewhere down the line, or is
down the line? I'm gonna have to think about that. You
Yeah.
know, because you never know. Like I said, my best friend just passed, and you just never know.
Yeah, I knew your best friend too. Great guy. Really is sad to see. Well, we're going to take people on a little tour of the building. We're going to show some of the process that goes into this. We're going to show you some of the areas that you would never get to see otherwise, including some of the amazing things that are, I mean, you think about a business that's been running since 1901, there are some serious artifacts that are hidden away inside this place. Don't get any ideas about trying to come in here and rob anything, because I know a couple of the places that have been tried, and it's not really worked out well. And I know a couple of the booby traps, if you will. Nothing you want to find out about. But this is a fascinating place, and to think the work and the people's lives that you've helped remember, and you're still doing it all by hand, that's an amazing thing. And as we were talking upstairs, if you're an American picker and you're watching this, you might want to get a hold of this guy, because I think you're going to see that there's some serious history here at Muskegon Monument and Stone, and it's all being kept by this guy right here. Brooks, thanks for having us down today. Appreciate your time. You do beautiful work. It's all done by hand right here in Muskegon since 1901. Take a look what goes on at Muskegon Monument and Stone.